Hello beautiful dog people, welcome back to the channel. I have exciting news. I recently told you that I adopted another Wadi dog, Panda, and I'm super excited. If you have not yet watched the video, I will link it down below in the description box. Panda is a Wadi dog and she basically looks like a panda bear. Well, she has panda eyes and adorably cute. So I'm big times in love. And soon is the day where my little baby girl will finally get on the journey and will travel from the Middle East to the UK. So Panda is currently based in Oman in the Middle East, and she will fly over to Europe and then will be brought over with a pet taxi to the UK, to our house. And I am beyond excited, and I have done this already before. So Chucky, my other dog, my other Wadi dog, has done the same journey, and so we kind of know what to expect, we kind of know what to prepare for, etc. However, Panda will be our third dog, and we have not yet met Panda before. So with Chalky, and I have filmed a video about this as well, I will link it down below in the description box as well. So Chalky is a deaf dog, and my husband has worked in Oman when I saw him first on Instagram from their charity. And I sent my husband to meet Chucky, and so we got to know Chucky. Well, he got to know Chucky in person. So we kind of got a feeling for the dog, and we kind of made the decision based on a meeting in person. I talked to his foster mom via FaceTime, etc. So it was kind of a bit different. So we met, well, one of us met the dog before, and my husband went with him to puppy classes in the Middle East, etc. And then he came to the UK. However, with the Panda, it's a bit different. So we have not yet met her. I talked to the volunteers and I obviously prepared and asked questions. All of this is in the video about Panda, so I'm not going into much detail right now. However, I thought it might be interesting for you if you're thinking of adopting a dog, maybe what kind of thoughts are going into this, how do I prepare, what is going through my mind at the moment. Also, please do keep in mind that this will be our third dog, so we're having a multi-dog household already, and we are adding another dog into the household. One of the dogs in the resident household is a senior dog. He's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, American Staffy mix, and the other one, as I just mentioned, is a Deaf Wadi Dog. So there's two male dogs, and one is 9 and the other one is about a year old. So Panda and Chucky are about the same age, and yes, so I'm super excited, but there's obviously some thought involved on how to manage this, how to make the introduction. So ideally, in an ideal case, I would introduce all of the dogs outside of the house. However, we have different challenges with this. Chucky is very scared to leave the house if it's after early morning. So chances are Panda's not arriving for his morning walkies. So he might be super stressed, he might be a bit freaking out. So this is one thing. The other thing is, if Panda arrives super late at night, this is a possibility that she will come really late. Then how do I introduce them outside if it's dark, etc. So will I just bring a strange dog who we don't know, where we don't know how she would react, who my boys don't know, etc. So will we just bring her into our house then? Keep in mind that if you adopt a dog from abroad, you have not the chance to introduce the dog or get to know the dog. You have a picture of this dog in your head, but you basically don't really know what the dog is really like. So if you adopt a dog from a local shelter, usually the shelter would advise you to bring your dogs in, your resident dogs in, and then meet the dog you would like to adopt, so you all can meet and also figure out whether they get along or not, and you have just basically less pressure to make it work, because, you just have several meetings, etc., and can get used to one another. Not the case for us. So this is definitely one thing I have to think through. So in our house, we anyways have boundaries in place. So we have obviously different beds, dog beds, where my boys are in at the moment. I'm not using crates, so none of my boys is crated. If there's interest, I can do a video about this as well, so please just let me know in the comments. But yeah, so there's no crates, but we have baby gates in place at any time. So they are not always closed, obviously, but they're just in place in case I need to separate some dogs. Also, this was really handy when I had boarding dogs, so sometimes I had here up to 4 dogs. And I already filmed videos about this actually, but I haven't edited them yet, so yeah, they will come sometime later. But yeah, so these are in place, and I got well, it's kind of like a puppy pen, so you could use it as a pen, but I mainly use it to split the living room into half. So that if I have to feed a dog separately or just give one dog a bit more space, I could pop them behind the gate, and then I can also leave the gate or like the fenced area open. So these are things that are already in place and that are already set up. One thing I'm currently thinking about, and I'm sharing this because I think this might be interesting, of things you might want to think through before getting a dog. But one thing is, where will she sleep, especially if you have your resident dogs already in the household, they are not yet introduced or like not properly introduced. Will she sleep in the same room or not? If not, how do I know if she has to go out? Do keep in mind, Panda is not yet house trained. She has never ever lived in a house. She basically doesn't know how a house functions, what is expected, what are household manners. None of this is yet set. So Panda has been on the streets, and then she has been in the shelter for nearly a year. So this is another challenge we obviously have to go through. So how do we get her acquainted to all of this? She has been walked on a leash, so the volunteers in the shelter have taken her out, so she knows how to put on a harness, and she has been walked on a leash. However, it's very different there than it is here. So there's a lot of things to think about, but this is one thing that I'm currently trying to figure out. How do I set up management best for her to feel safe, as well as my boys to feel safe, comfortable, and not have any fights started or whatever, but also for me to get some sleep by not stressing if she's okay in the hallway or wherever. I'm not having a solution yet. I'm thinking about this. Options are that I maybe sleep downstairs with her, but generally I would like to start setting up a routine and plan and set something up on how we plan to continue. However, as I said, like if she arrives late at night, then, and we don't have the flight date yet, so we don't really know when she will be here, at what time, etc. So this is something we cannot really plan, and then also the journey might take longer. So there's loads of uncertainty at the moment and things to figure out. I got her a dog bed already. It's pink, obviously. So I already got something for her, which is hers, which is truly hers. And as I said, like I can pop her behind the boundary, like behind the fenced area. Yeah, so this is something that I'm currently, just is in my head. I'm not panicking or anything. I don't have massive anxiety about this, and I'm sure we will all be fine. But generally, from experience, it makes sense to have management in place, and also to keep like, I'm eagle eye mom. If I get new dogs in or whatever, I am eagle eye mom. Like I'm there. I'm on top of them. I prevent whatever I can prevent. Like management is really key for me the first couple of days. Yeah, so this is one thing I'm currently thinking about. Then obviously she will have a diet change, so she will get into our food, but I don't think this is big of a deal. One thing I am preparing for at the moment is feeding her. So with Chalky, he would have inhaled all of his food. So with Chalky, I completely ditched the bowl. He does not eat out of a doggy bowl, like a normal plain bowl. He either eats out of a slow feeder, a puzzle game like a topple or a Kong, etc. We might play some games with some of his food allowance, but I think for me, with a street dog who showed resource guarding behaviors, who grew up in uncertainty and who was not, his meals were not safe, basically. I don't want to ditch the ball. So for me, food with them is something that is available unconditionally for them. So they don't have to work for their food, if that makes sense. But obviously I want him to be safe. So I don't want him to inhale the food, because he would sometimes just basically throw it up again. Sorry. But that's what it is. So he would eat out of a slow feeder bowl, which he likes. It's fine. He can easily do it. But it just takes a bit longer. Rambo was so insecure when he arrived that he was scared to eat at all. So I had to sit next to him and sometimes hand feed him. So yeah, we'll see how she is, how she reacts. I'm basically prepared to have a bowl, to have slow feeders, etc. So whatever works for her, we will do this. And yes, then obviously also one thing to keep in mind is that she will be stressed out of her mind, and she will not be the dog who she will grow into, or the person she becomes, the dog she will become. And I filmed separate videos about this. So first one about the decompression time, which I will link down below, and one video about the 3-3-3 rule. So what to expect with a new rescue dog in the first 3 days, the first 3 weeks, and the first 3 months. I will link this down below as well. So we won't start training her. I won't start training her right away. So the main part is that there will be management. So I will help her to get started with her new life, to feel comfortable, to feel safe, and to introduce her to the boys and to basically to the household, to The first things we will start when training Panda will be obviously toilet training. Then we will work on calmness quite a lot so she can basically get it out of her system, empty her stress bucket, and feel relaxed. So calmness is one thing we're going to work on, and then we're going to work on boundary training so she understands the value of her bed and that she's safe and staying in her bed, and that this is a place she can retrieve to if she needs some space or wants some peace. So this is our main focus for the first few days, but obviously there are loads of uncertainties, so we will see how it goes. But yeah, I thought you might find this helpful if I share this. Maybe you're thinking of adopting another dog and introducing a dog from abroad to your household, or maybe just getting a dog from abroad without any other dogs around, whatever it might be. I also decided to document Panda's journey with us, so how we get started. I actually asked this question on Facebook in a group, and so many people said that they would find this really interesting to see how a street dog is, what the street dog can become, how the first few days are. So I would take this opportunity and document Panda's journey, well, Panda's and my journey, I guess, and the boys' journey together on how she settles, how long things take, etc. I would try to film as much as possible. However, I also want to say that my dog has absolute priority. So if there is, this is why you have not seen any videos of Chalky being really scared outside, because if he's scared outside, I can't film. Like, I have to make sure my dog is safe and comfortable, at least as comfortable as he can be. So filming is not my main priority, and hope you do understand this as a dog lover, that things are just more important than sometimes documenting things. So I would tell you about things sometimes, but I would try to film as much as I can. One last thing is that Panda will be brought up the Absolute Dogs way, so this will be concept dog training, games based, and I'm happy to talk you through the concept that I'm going to focus on first and we're going to work on, etc. If you want to know what concept dog training is, you can simply watch the video here, and I will see you next time.